Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls doing? What's up? I hope you're doing great. Today we're going to be talking about another little topic which is really important and is kind of easy to understand, I'd say, but we'll make a couple examples with this. And this is the if statements, all right? And it's part of the C++ logic pack, or whatever you want to call it. So it helps you kind of not just make something where you input something and it prints it out. That's not a program, right? You wanna input something, you wanna check it for a bunch of stuff, and then if you meet the correct specifications, you'll do something with that value, right? So if statements are just that. Don't freak out here. It's really important. A lot of people see this like, oh my god, what is this? How am I gonna use this? Oh, it's so complicated. It's not. It's like in your head. Just imagine your brain working. You get an input. Someone says hello to you. In your head, there will be an if statement. If the sentence is friendly, you'll respond. If it's not friendly, you will not respond, right? That's what happens in your head. That's exactly what happens in the computer. So an if statement is really simple. You just write if something else. So if something will happen. All right. So I'm going to show you how this works. We're going to be using this and we're going to be using it a lot. And you use it a lot in different programs, and you'll come across a lot of times when this is really important. So let me just go through the really basic things right now. So if statements have the header and then the body, and they can be followed by else statements, which also have a body. So if this statement is not correct, whatever is in these parentheses here is not correct, is not true, then it will go and do this. So this is like a last case scenario thing. You can also have else if statements with a body, which is really cool. You can do if this, okay, else if this, else if none of these, you do this. And you can have several else if statements. So this might be black voodoo magic for you right now. I understand that. It was for me once upon a time. So, but don't worry, we'll be going through all this. So this video can be a little drawn out, but I'll try to keep it short and concise. So let's just start off with a really simple thing. Let's make an integer. This is the best way to test this. So integer I equals 0. Let's say std cout input a number friend, and then we'll just do that, and we'll say std cin get the number, put it into our I variable from the keyboard. All right. So go check out the last tutorial, and also don't forget to comment the last tutorial's code out, and all the other ones, just comment them out, because our main will not work. And remember to include iostream and main and all that stuff. All right. So I'll also include string here because we'll be using that later. So let's just make an std string sentence here, and we'll just say that it's an empty string. Doesn't have anything in it right now. Excuse me, just one second. Okay, there we go. Let's see. So yeah, sentence and an integer. Now we'll get an integer out. Let's just print it out. Cout the integer's value is new line. It is not new line, it is actually the I variable. So let's see if we get our input correctly just now. So it's going to ask us for an input, 233. The input integer's value is 233. Fine. That works. No problems. Let me just see if I'm recording. Yep. All right. So that works. Now, what if we don't want to print this right now? So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say if the I equals 23, we're going to say std cout the integer is 23. So this is something we need to just go through before you guys freak out and get afraid. There are a few different relational operators. Relational operators. A operator is something that is in between two values here. This is an operator. This is an operator. This is an input operator. This is a assignment operator. Remember that. We'll get into operators later. I didn't cover it in detail because it's complicated and we don't need to talk about that really right now. But just remember the name of these things that you're using, equals, or this is equals, this is the assignment. So anything to the left will be put into the right. No, anything to the right will be put into the left. This is if these two are equal to each other. So I use two equals to signs. So relational operators, and they are this equals greater or equals, less than or equals, less than or equals, and then you have the single ones, less than, greater than, and also is not. So this one is kind of interesting. This is really cool. You can use that. And also is not equal. So let's see how can I do this properly. So relational operators, equals, greater equals. This is good if you have these as reference. Greater than is not equal. Let's just do that. So then I can add more as we go along. And then you have is not equal, is not true. There we go. There's a difference here. So I'll explain all these things, but you have them here as reference. All right. Now we're using the equals operator, relational operator, and we're checking if the integer, if its value is exactly 23, the integer is 23. All right. Else if I don't do anything, let's just try this. So if I give it a random number, it's just going to say the integer's value is 2324, what I inputted. But if I do 23, we're going to go into that if statement and it's going to check the integer for the value 23, and it is equal to 23 in this case. It will go in there and it will do whatever was set to do in there. So the integer is 23. Now I can do this as well. Here I can do I equals 44. If the integer is 23, after the input, if it comes here and it checks if it's true, it is 23, comes in here, I'll change I to 44, and the value that will be inputted after this if statement should be 44. I hope you followed me on that. Well, let's just try it. 23, the integer is 23, the integer's value is 44. So it changed it. Now, sorry for nighttime. Let me just remove that. So remember, you can do anything in here as long as I equals 23 will come in this body and we'll do something in here. So that is that. Now let's go for an else statement. std cout the integer was none of the above values. So this is a worst case scenario, right? So if this if statement does not turn out to be true, because they work on true and false, right? So if this statement is true, then we'll come in. If it's false, we'll come out. So when we come out of here, the computer will check for an else statement. Okay, else. All right, so it wasn't this. What? Anything else but this, then we'll do this. All right, so anything else. Let's see. Now if I write 23 here, we'll get integers 23, this value here. If I say 55, the integer was none of the above values. The integer's value is 55. So it went in here. It went here, false. Okay, else, do this. Now, probably for some of you it's not complicated at all. I understand that, but for some of you, if it is really complicated, try to watch the video again and after it's finished, and whatever you want to do, just get in on this because it's pretty good to know. But if I'll try to explain it as well as I can. The else statement does not need parentheses for a statement. Remember, it is if anything else, so it doesn't really matter if what. It's just if these things are not true, then we'll do this. But the if else statement does need a parameter in here. So it needs to say if this, okay, it wasn't this. If or else if, sorry, else if. I'm so dumb. Else if this, then we'll do something here. If none of these, then we'll go in here. So I is greater or is less than 23. Let's just say less than 23. Then we're gonna say cd cout the integer is less than 23. So this is an else if statement. So our I will be 23. Nothing else will happen. As you saw, it just went into the first if statement. But if I say 22, the integer is less than 23. So it came in here and it was true. Then it didn't have to execute this else statement, because this is only the worst case. This is if nothing else is true. So one in here, false. One in here, oh, it is less than 23. Okay, let's do this. Boom. And then, bam. It skipped all of this stuff. All right, now if you do I equals something else, 55 here, it won't magically go in here, I think. Let's see. This is actually interesting. This is maybe I'll learn something here too. So if I say 22, the integer is less than 23, integer's value is 55. So it didn't come into this else statement because this was executed. So it didn't magically go up here and check everything again. It was down here, and then it changed the value of it, but it won't go and check it for 23 again, if you know what I mean. So this else statement will not be called. But whatever, just try to follow along. Else if I equals 25, std cout, wow, the integer is huge. Boom. Easy. Alright, boom. So we have another else if. Now you can make as many else ifs as you want. Alright, they're really nice, they're really fun to play around with. 25, wow, the integer is huge. Nothing else was called. It was just this one. So see, but you can only have one else statement, since this is the, again, I probably know you all understand this, but let me just say it again. This is the worst case. There's only one worst case scenario. This is if nothing else works, this will happen. If we don't have an else statement, we don't have a worst case scenario. If none of these are true, we'll just skip everything and we'll keep going here. So sometimes else is good to have, sometimes it's not. It depends on what you're doing. But yeah, that's basically how it works. It all starts with an if statement. You can't start with an else if statement here because there's nothing else if. There has to be an if before an else if. And there has to be an if before an else. Alright, and there can't be any else ifs after the else, or any ifs after here. Another if statement here is a whole new thing. It's a whole new if scenario, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, so just remember that. If you want to have these sticking together, if is first, else is last, and everything in between should be else if. Alright, if I do if here, and just say something, boom, 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 just like that. Please remember that this else statement now belongs to this if statement, not this one. So this is disconnected from this. Alright, this else statement used to belong to this one, but there's a new if statement in town, and he's like, yo, this is my else statement. Alright, so you don't want that. You just want to do this. Boom, easy. So that is a basic if statement tutorial. Now let me show you that you can use strings as well for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another std, oh, see, I'm using the wrong keyword, input a sentence. There we go. And we're just going to say std get align std sin, because we went through this in the last tutorial. Please check this out in the last tutorial if you don't understand this. This is a way to get a whole line from the keyboard, and we want to get it into sentence. Now remember what we talked about at the end of the last video, the error that always happens if you don't use std sin.ignore after a cin. Okay, after a cin you need this because the enter symbol is still in the stream. You want to remove that or ignore that when you get to getLine. Otherwise this getLine will terminate instantly as soon as it gets here. All right. So let me just go ahead and try this out. Just give me 1 second. I just want to do one thing quick. Let me check something else. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. So we got our sentence. We'll probably have a sentence here. Let's make a new if statement here. This is for the string. So we'll say if sentence equals. Now how do you, a number is easy, right? You can just kind of check if it's a number or not. But if a sentence is equal to something, then you have to kind of write it in a string literal like this. So if a sentence is hello, like this, then, whoops, sorry about that. Then we'll do something with that. So then we'll say std cout sentence. Otherwise, we won't print the sentence unless it is hello, exactly hello. If you start using greater than equal to here or stuff like that, you'll check the size of the string, not what is typed within. So this is 5 characters. You'll compare this sentence with 5 characters if you do that. But if you equal to something, it should be the exact ASCII values. So let's try this. Let's just say 23, and it's going to input a sentence, hello, and it will output hello, just like that. So let me just make that clearer. The sentence is like that. So that's what it did. But what if I do this? Let's say input number friend 23 again, hello, hello. Then it won't print that out. And if I print something else with 5 characters, it won't print that out as well. 2, 3, 5. See, it did not print that. So it was not checking the number of characters, but actually if it's the exact same ASCII values and all that stuff. So that's how you compare a string. All right. Now I want to show you these relational thingies. I want to show you this as well. So this is why this might become a equals false. Why this might become a longer video. Oh, we actually don't need a boolean. Let's just do this. Or yeah, no, use the boolean. Now if it is false, easy way to show this is if I do if value equals true, then we'll say std cout value is true. Alright. Whoops, I don't know what I just did. I don't like that. There we go. Boom. Else, because a boolean can only be false or true. So if it's true, this, else, it's definitely false, right? It can't be anything else. So it will be false. So we'll just print that out. Now if I run this, I'll give it 23, hello, value is false, 23, hello. So value is false. That means this value was false. Let's see. Because it was not true. This checks for if it's true. If it's true, it will say it's true. Else, it will say it's false. Now, if I say true here, obviously it's going to say true, right? It's going to go in there. 23, whatever, value is true. Now, there are some other operators you can use. You can use is not equals and is not true. So let me show you these as well. Is not equals true. If it's false, it should say it's false, right? Otherwise, it is true. So this is a way of saying not equals to true. And then we'll say 23, hello, value is true. So it came in here. It checked it for not being true and it wasn't true. Or it was true. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. And you came in here and it did all this stuff. If I do this as well, you can actually just do this. Look, this might be a little extra stuff. You don't really need to do this. Or it's good to learn, I'm sorry. True, false. Let's just switch it over. So if value else. Now you're like, what the hell? If value what? What is this? Why is this magic? Like, what is this? If you write a number or anything like this, just itself, that means that if it is greater than 0, it will be a true value. If it is false, it will be false if it's less than 0 or equal to 0. Less than or equal to 0, it will be false. If it's greater than 0, it is true. So if this value is internally, this is actually a 1 right now, and this will be a value 0 is a false. So false is a value 0, true is a value 1. So it checks if value is whatever it is. If it is, let's say 1, then it will be true. If it is less than or equal to 0, it will be false. So let's see. Sentence is hello, value is true, because I set it to 1 and we just checked it like this. Now if I say if not value, let's switch the order because this is checking for false. Now if the value is false, alright, if the value is false, then we'll say it's false. If it's not, it's a true. So let's just set that to 1. Let's keep it a 1. Let's see what it says. Value is true, so it checked it for true. Now if we say 0 here, it's gonna be false, and whatever value is false. And that's the same as writing true or false. Okay. Whew. So maybe I hope you followed me on that. I'm sorry I was babbling too much. I don't know. I hope you learned or understood these operators a little bit, how they work, because you can check things for not or is if not true and true. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. Please just watch it again or watch some other video. Try to understand this, because these operators are really good to know. They're really logical. There's how your brain works. If something is not true, it's obviously false, and so on and so on. So you can just think of it in that way and not too complicated in a technical way. Just try to think of it as in your own perspective, in a human way, and it should make sense. So please just look at all this again, try to play around with it, fiddle with it, see what you get, and yeah, I hope you learned something today. If not, I'm sorry, but otherwise, thanks for all the support and thanks for watching, and I hope you keep learning and just work hard. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye bye.